Hey guys, James here from TCG University. Come back at you with a new Grand Archive deck profile. We haven't done any of these on the channel yet as of my recording this, but we're going to try and bring out a couple of them. I wanted to try some new things with my Merlin deck. So I'm changing like the way I'm playing in, maybe even like the color, or I guess the element is the word, I guess, for this game that I want to play. So I'm changing it from fire into a different one. So I wanted to do a deck profile, show off what I have so far. So starting off, we got Merlin, level 3. This is basic stuff. Everybody should know what she does. At the beginning of your recollection phase, you put a level counter on her, and then if there's an even amount of level counters on her, you get to draw a card and you get +2 to your attacks all turn. It's pretty cool. I'm playing the level 2, which says you can tap her to get rid of a floating memory and put a level count on her, and then you do that. You can do that from either player's discard pile, which is pretty neat. And then the main difference, depending on how you play it, is I'm playing Lorraine as my level 1. On enter, you get to materialize a weapon card from your with the memory cost of 0 from your material deck, which just lets you gives you swords that you can attack with early, and then you can kind of just hold them or use them to kind of like ping stuff off board. Then we're playing fire. Like I said, we're playing the regular Spirit of Fire. I'm not playing the new one. I think having more cards in hand is just advantageous right now comparatively to the game. I think Lorraine, if you wanted to play Lorraine level 3, I think you can get away with the other fire one, but unless you're drawing a bunch of cards, I think just early game control, having extra cards is just much better. Onto the rest of the material deck, we're playing 1 Majestic Beast. We get level counter, so it's very easy for us to get high up in levels if we want to play there's the 12 cost spell that says you play this from your deck. This thing has Intercept, True Sight, Vigor. Champions you control get Spell Shroud, which is nuts versus like any Rye or even like mirror matches basically. And then if you have another Crux element unit you control would take damage, you can prevent half that damage rounded up, which is super nuts as well. And 10 health, this thing almost never dies. I'm playing both of the 2-drop swords, Prismatic Edge and Sword of Avarice. Sword of Avarice, just Pot of Greed. It says draw 2 as your character. Really good. And then we're playing Prismatic Edge. Prismatic Edge says when you enter, you reveal both of the cards in the memory. If there's a fire element, you get to ping something for 3. If there's a water element, you get to draw a card. And if there's a wind element, you get to get rid of revealed each opponent banishes a card at random from their memory, which is very, very good. We so far level 0s for our Lorraine. I'm about to sneeze. I'm sorry. For level 0s, we're playing Sword of Seeking. I play this one if I have dudes on board. Sometimes I have dudes, sometimes I don't. I think it's a very good target for a level 1 if we have dudes. It just basically lets you see through stealth. It's just a 1/2. You can hit twice. Or we play Sword of Adversity, which if you don't have dudes, swings for 2, which means you can kill other things, but it only has 1 health. We're playing a fire-based deck, so I'm also playing Fire Tongue. On attack, you can banish a fire card to put a durability counter on it so it doesn't die. It just gives you a +2, could be a +4 with Lorraine every single turn if you have it out, if you want to play that way. And then we're playing Seer Sword, just on attack limps 2. It's a 1/3. It's just a sword you can put out that lets you swing continuously, or gives you more swings, which is very useful. And we're playing the Crux card that says we're playing what is it? Oh, let me get to it real quick just to make sure. Insole. We're playing Insole, so we get to like burst all of our swords on board anyways. And then we're playing Drawn Blade, which just says on enter draw card. I'm changing the way the deck plays. I would have rather less did the sword thing and did more of the what you want to call it, just have more counterplay and stuff. Like I'm not playing Ring, I'm not playing anything that like helps me at all. It's just all swords, so sometimes it just kind of felt bad. On to what we're playing in the deck. Starting with fire, we're playing 4 Flame Rune Swordsman. It's mage and a warrior, so it always has the floating memory because it's a class bonus thing. It's a 2/2. It's an easy put out. Gives you memory that you can get rid of to play your dudes. Super solid starting card. We're playing 4 Ignite the Soul. This has floating memory, but only at level 2, so you have to pay attention to that. When playing the deck, had a lot of trouble remembering to do that, but that's just I space out sometimes when I play. Just deal 1 to something is very nice, and having that floating memory for later is very, very good. And then for speeding up the deck, we're playing 4 Increasing Danger. I really like this card. I understand it gives your opponent cards, but honestly, putting yourself out ahead very quickly is very, very good for us. Let me go this way. Yeah. So I'm playing 4 of this. It's a very simple card that just lets you have both your memory that you can play stuff with later, or just get you more cards in hand. Same thing with Creative Shock. You need to pay attention when you're using it, because class bonus is to ping some for 2, and we're not a mage till level 2, and I sometimes forget that, but it also still lets you mill through your deck faster and get to other pieces, so it can be very helpful. And then I'm playing this as a dude spell, I think, with Karar. I'm saying that wrong. The new Crawl, the dragon from Terra, and with our Majestic Spirit. I think you need big kill spells sometimes. And this says swing for 7, swing for 9, swing for 10 if you have a weapon as our Merlin. So it just says I can snipe Majestic Spirit without even having to think about it. So I like having it right now. It's just super easy. At level 3, you get plus 4 damage, so it swings for 7 on its own. 9 if your level counters match Lorraine, match your thing. We're playing 3 Ember Song. This card just says deal 2 to something. It's mainly, we don't use the class bonus stuff because we're not that class. It's mainly a setup for Erupting Rhapsody. You get to banish any number of fire element cards from your discard pile, and then you get plus 1 level until the end of the turn for every card that was banished. And then Harmonize, if you've played a melody, you also get to deal level damage to your opponent. It's super good, super easy. It says we pump our levels, which lets us play the 12 drop spell, or it pumps it to hit itself with Ember Song, which says, especially when we're plussing levels, it just lets us hit our opponent for a lot of damage. And then the last fire spell we are playing is Fireball, which is just deal level plus 1 damage to a unit. It just says that we get to snipe dudes off the board if we need to early game. Says we get to snipe our opponent if we really want to. And then with all their plussing level games leveled the entire game, it just says that this is always going to hit hard. It is a class bonus at level 2 to be able to do it. So level 1, you're not going to be hitting very hard, but level 2, you can start hitting pretty hard. And then Floating Memory. I actually honestly think this is the best normal card in the game. People can fight me on it if they want. I don't really care. An O2 taunt with Floating Memory, that's just a 2 cost, is super strong. I've had multiple games where this just sits on board because my opponent can't deal enough, because my opponent couldn't swing enough into it, or because my opponent didn't want to give me the Floating Memory early enough in the game and let me get ahead, especially when they know I'm playing Merlin. This card just says you get to protect yourself, and as Merlin, it says you get a better use out of it later too. So like it's dual purpose in this deck, and it's very nice. Like the Floating Memory is useful in every deck, but for Merlin, it gets nuttier and nuttier. Then we're playing 4 Harness Mana. It is a class bonus Floating Memory, but at level 2 is when we want the Floating Memory anyways. Then you can put any number of cards you want from your hand into your memory, which is super good because if we want early game, we can just go, I'll put 1, and then you can level up really easy. It's your option. I wanted to have more Floating Memory, and I felt like that was a good card to have. Defensively, we're playing 4 Deflecting Edge. If we have a sword, which is easy to do because we play level 1 Lorraine, we can prevent 3 damage from the next attack that would hit any unit this turn, which is super strong, especially when we're playing the taunt thing. We are playing 2 Sudden Steel. I wanted to test this card with the way Merlin works. It's an efficiency level, so at level 6, you pay nothing for it. You just swing your character and you get to swing for 5, 7 if you have Lorraine, 8 if you have a weapon. Like, it's just a super simple free attack swing. It's pretty neat. Then we're on to the Crux cards. We are playing 2 Incarnate Majesty. This card says play Big Durgan. It gets an efficiency bonus, which as Merlin is very easy. And then for every 1 cost or less Regalia, for every Regalia weapon in your banishment, you also get +1 -1 difficulty. So not only because we play weapons do we get cheaper, we also get cheaper because we level up our character, and we just get to play Big Durgan. And it plays the Big Durgan from Dragon from the both the banishment and the deck, so it's really good. We're playing 2 Insol. This card just says we put all of our weapons, all of our non 2-drop weapons, because we only play 2 of them. All the other weapons that aren't the 2-drop crux ones onto the board, and we can swing with them as they were allies. It's really, really good. Good for pushing damage late game. We had 2 Slay the King. I wanted to test this out because I think it's really cool. You still have the problem of you have to play the card. So like you can't play many things. So a lot of times I like to use it to swing and swap the 2 cards I have here for 2 cards I'm going to play from, I'm going to draw from the Pot of Greed sword. But it's still a 4 damage or 6 damage with Merlin. So like it's really, really cool. We're playing 2 Ascension. I honestly wish I was playing 4 of this. This is one of the things I would switch. I would play 4 of this. This basically just says swap your swords, and at level 3 you just swap into a Pot of Greed to draw, or you swap into like Fire Tongue for extra damage, or you swap into the Drawn Sword to draw 1 from the Draw 2 sword, which just allows you to just draw more cards. And honestly, with Merlin, I really enjoyed playing this, which is Spirit's Blessing, which is you bounce a sword back to the deck to be able to ready your character and draw a card. This card just allows you to get multiple swings out of Merlin's +2, which is super, super nice in my opinion. And then the last card of the deck is just Crux Sight. It's just a free draw card that says if you need at some point, you can replace it for any of your Crux cards. So like it's not terrible. I use it a lot to either be able to grab the 2 of this or be able to restand if I wanted to. I did use it once to pick up an Insole and once to pick up a Incarnate Majesty I discarded early in the game, so that way I could play them. But other than that, I mainly use it just to abuse Ascension, and because I wanted 4, I really wish I played 4 of it. So yep, that's my deck, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I really enjoy. I didn't like enjoy this deck too much. I personally just don't like the play style. I think I made it too sword based, and I made it difficult to. It didn't give me a lot of play options. The plays were very limited and very like linear. You were like, we're doing sword things. We're gonna draw a bunch of cards, hit you really hard, and then if we get you close enough, kill you with Insole Dragon or the Fireball Melody cards. And I personally didn't enjoy that. It didn't feel like I was trying to play. I like back and forth games, and it didn't feel like I was trying to play it back and forth. It felt like I was trying to just stall out to play this rushdown game, and I didn't enjoy that with this deck, especially because I like the way Merlin 2-drop plays, which is why I was excited for Merlin 3. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Support's on Patreon at patreon.com/TCGUniversity. We got cool t-shirts down in the link below for Spreadshop as well. And I have a bunch of extra Grand Archive stuff that's up on our store at tcguniversity.tcgplayer.com. So make sure to check that out as well. And as always, guys, stay learned.